everyone, how are you? I'm so glad you were able to connect to another one of my streams. I am very happy to see you again. As usual, you can find me testing a new artificial intelligence tool I found while surfing the web. It's called Bookabout, and all we have to do is give it a short description of what kind of book we want, and in seconds it will give us a list of books to read. Well, let's try it together. We just have to think about what to write to give us a list of books. What can it be? Oh, I know. We're going to look for books related to digital education. Not that I'm going to read anything on this specifically, but since we're on an educational streaming platform, let's see what books there are related to this, right? Digital education. Let's see. How many interesting titles? Digital Dementia Why School. Being an Open Digital Marketplace. The Handbook of Hyperdog. Look guys, how interesting these books are. While I told you I wasn't going to read anything, it seems to me that reading these titles, I'm going to end up reading some for sure. Guys, try this AI at home. For those times when you don't quite know what book to start reading, it's always a good opportunity. Also remember to recommend the tool to family and friends, because everyone will surely take advantage of this great artificial intelligence tool. Okay, with this recommendation said, what do you say we start chatting about today's topic? Friends, I ask you a question. Have you ever wondered how mankind went from believing in magical stories and legends to reasoning and looking for logical explanations for everything around us? Well, today we will delve into the amazing transition better known as the passage from myths to logos. I want to show you a little preview of the video we will see later to get you into the topic. Let's watch it.
The passage from myth to logos in ancient Greece marked the origin of philosophy. First, let us recall that we define philosophy as the love of wisdom.
Well, I don't want to show you anything else. What do you say, folks? It's very interesting, isn't it? But well, relax. We are going to understand a little bit more as we go through the stream. And not only that, because after watching the central video of the stream and we have talked more about this important transition for humanity, we are going to take our knowledge to the next level thanks to WePik, which is an artificial intelligence tool with which we will create a slideshow just by typing the title of the topic to be developed. Look, I'm going to show you. I did this presentation on Hannah Arendt and common sense in another stream. If you did not see it, after this one or tomorrow you have to watch it, because the truth is that she raises very interesting things. You just have to search on the FlexFlix platform for the video that has the name Hannah Arendt, and you will be able to enjoy another 15 minutes of streaming. But we'll watch the presentation. It is very good. To me, it really looks very beautiful, very nice. What do you think? Guys, remember that you can write me in the chat what you want. I will read them. Well, later on I'm going to show you how to use this AI for today's topic, because first we need to know a little bit more about the transition from myth to wolf. And you know what? Another thing I want to tell you is something spectacular that my friend Paula told me the other day. Well, it turns out that she had to talk about India for our geography class, and she told me something that I had no idea. Did you know that there is an island in India where no one is allowed to enter because there is a dangerous Stone Age tribe living there? Guys, I swear I was shocked like that. It's something you can't believe, right? Well, this island is called Sentinel Island, and it is home to the planet's isolated, known to be extremely violent, and the fact that they live in the Stone Age. The few images that exist of the inhabitants of Sentinel Island have been casual, and they reflect the clear hostility of the natives towards anyone who wants to approach the island. They defend themselves to the death with their spears, shouts, and stones, and so much so that they have already caused more than one death to people who have wanted to approach the island. Guys, the Indian government, after trying to reach the island several times, has simply decided to respect them, to keep them in their healthy isolation, to respect their balance and their small civilization. Another reason for the decision to prohibit access to the island is also due to humanitarian factors, since this tribe is also the most vulnerable society on the planet. Not being in contact with today's society, they are very sensitive to diseases such as measles, influenza, basically diseases that are almost unimportant for us, but which would be lethal for the Sentinelese. It's amazing, don't you think, folks? It's good to finally get some respect for that tribe that clearly doesn't want to make friends with anybody. Oh guys, no, look how time went by. Oh sorry I went on too long, but it is something that made me very curious. Just in case, never visit Sentinel Island. You know how you will be received. But well friends, let's get back to the topic of the day. To that end, I have an opening question for you. Have you ever wondered how we went from believing that thunder was the manifestation of God's wrath to understanding that it is an atmospheric phenomenon? Well, before, cultures explained unknown phenomena through myths and legends, creating fantastic stories full of magic to make sense of the unknown. But over time, we began to look for more rational answers based on observation and reasoning. What do you think, kids? Has it ever happened to you that a myth or legend from your childhood faded away when you didn't know the explanation of the logic behind it? Or have you heard about logos or seen something related to it in school? Tell me in the chat. You know I read you and I love to read you. In the meantime, I'll tell you the following. Before we get into this fascinating topic of myth to logos, it is important that we are clear about what a myth is and how ancient cultures used to use them to explain the unknown. Just like when we were little and believed that there was a monster under the bed, until logic and reason showed us that they were just shadows or normal noises in the house. On the other hand, learning about this topic will help us understand how humanity has evolved in its way of interpreting and understanding the world around us, giving us tools to analyze and question the stories and beliefs that surround us today. Guys, isn't it exciting to see how we have gone from fearing the unknown to wanting to understand it? I can't get over the excitement. That's why I think we are at the right time to watch the video that will explain in detail this wonderful transition. But wait, I'll look for it for a second. Okay, here it is. I found it. Ready on the other side? Let's watch it.
The passage from myth to logos in ancient Greece marked the origin of philosophy. First, let us recall that we define philosophy as the love of wisdom, based on its etymological root. In ancient Greece, explanations came from myths, sacred stories that answered questions about the origin of the world and the gods. They were like epic movies.
Crazy guys,
Poets
really.
like Homer and Hesiod were the narrators of these myths, passing on the stories of the gods and teachings. But human curiosity was ready for something more, rational answers, and explanation based on logical thinking and evidence. This thinking is known as logos. This major shift occurred around the 7th century BC in Greece and Asia Minor. Society was changing, city-states, polis, were booming, trade was expanding and ideas were being shared among different peoples. People were beginning to question and wanted answers based on reason. The Greeks, brave and curious, sought answers beyond myths. They wanted to understand the origin of the cosmos, the role of man in the world, and much more. This marked the beginning of philosophy as we know it today. It is essential to remember that this change did not happen overnight. Over time, other cultures such as the Egyptians, Indians, and Chinese also contributed to this shift from myth to logos. But it was the Greeks who took it to a new level with their rationalist approach.
Well guys, so much new information, right? Anyway, don't worry, by chatting we will understand it a little bit better. That is why I invite you to imagine for a moment that our way of understanding the world is like when we were children, and we believed that those fantastic stories we were told before going to sleep were real. That is the magic of myths, a primitive but beautiful attempt to explain what surrounds us. But now think about how we have changed and matured. As we grow up, we leave those stories behind and start looking for answers that are a little more logical, don't you think? Well, something similar to this happened in ancient Greece. At a time when everything was attributed to the gods, thinkers emerged who said, hey, wait a minute, what if we try to understand all this in a different, maybe more thoughtful way? And well, just like when we were kids and we believed the tooth fairy or the tooth fairy in exchange for money, we came to understand something else when we grew up, didn't we? That it was our parents who took the tooth and left us the money. So thank you, parents. In Greece, something similar happened. We went from Hesiod and Homer to thinkers who wondered about the real origin of the cosmos and our position among it, among other things. Now, what do you say if we go back and watch part of the video? Because I think it's going to help us get it all a little bit clearer. Shall we watch it?
But human curiosity was ready for something more, rational answers, and explanation based on logical thinking and evidence. This thinking is known as logos.
Logos, okay. Folks, now that I've rewatched that part of the video, I realize how necessary it was to watch it. It got me thinking a lot. Most of all, I think that when I was younger, I used to listen to my grandparents' stories and was really fascinated by their magical tales of how the stars were formed or why it rained. For them, every phenomenon had a story possibility behind it. But as I grew older, my curiosity went beyond that, and I began to look for more rational, more logical answers. It is like when Greece was in full development, undergoing changes, commercial and cultural exchanges, that it needed more than just stories to understand its evolution. Thus, the first questions arose about the origin of the cosmos and the role of man in it. This change from seeing the world through myths to seeking rational explanations is similar to our transition from childhood to adolescence. I think you're getting it right, folks, don't you? Anyway, if there's anything on the subject that's stuck in your head, feel free to post it in the chat. You know I read you, okay? At the same time, I'll tell you that we've reached the part of the stream where we'll meet a fantastic AI tool that will become our guide. For those of you who are not yet very familiar with this type of tool, artificial intelligence is an advanced technology that uses algorithms and data to enable computers to do things that would normally require human intelligence. This technology has the potential to change the world in many ways, from medicine to education and much more. But as responsible young people, we have to keep in mind that artificial intelligence is a constantly evolving technology. So it is important to keep them updated and learn to adapt to the changes in order to use it effectively and responsibly. Well guys, having made all these clarifications, I am going to show you WePik, the artificial intelligence tool that I told you about at the beginning of the stream. With it, we will create a slideshow just by putting the theme of the presentation, and then the artificial intelligence will do the rest. Let's get to know it. Oh guys, keep in mind that you can use this one on any device now. Alright, well, first we go into our search engine and type in WePik. Great. Once we're in, we log in. Great. Now on the main page, we go to where it says Tools. And then we'll click where it says AI Presentation Builder. Alright folks. Let's go to where it says Get Started. Now it's time to make some decisions. First, we're going to set our presentation title. I'm going to write the step from myth to logos. This we saw today. Cool. Type of writing. Well, let's see. Professional, don't you think? Good. And finally, style. Let's see. I think this one fits well with today's theme. Guys, literally that was in a second. We already have the presentation. Look how great the slides are. I love it. Now we can edit whatever we want or even leave it as is and download it so we can present these super original slides at school or even to continue studying in a more interactive way. Let's see, I want to see everything there is. The legacy of the transit to the logos. Right, the conclusion, that would be at the end. Perfect, well, there is really everything. Friends, it is important that we read well all the information that the AI gives us. Because just like us, it can be wrong. That's the way it is. So we always have to check the information it gives us. Because when we have to present a paper or study, we have the right data. WePik will help us whenever we want. Because it is available for all subjects and it is free and very easy to use. So guys, be sure to share it with your friends, because you will see that you will be able to enjoy this great artificial intelligence tool. What did you think of WePik, friends? Is it really easy to use? Do you think so? Or what other subject you are looking at now in school would you use WePik for? Don't be shy and drop me a line in the chat. Well guys, I want to tell you that the time has come to demonstrate everything you've learned with me in today's stream. So get ready to test your knowledge in a great FlexFlix trivia. Are you ready? Let the trivia begin. How do you define philosophy according to its etymological root? Or was it the love of wisdom? Good. What kinds of explanations predominated before the Oh, what was it? Oh no, of course. Mythical and sacred explanations. What marked the beginning of philosophy in ancient Greece? The beginning, the search for rational answers, right? Well, that's great. That's it, folks. I'm sure you were able to answer all the questions well. No doubt in my mind, huh? Just like I have no doubt, guys, that it's finally time to say goodbye because it's time. But before I go, I wanted to remind you to download the FlexFlix app. In this app, you will find all my videos that are part of the effective FlexFlix augmented immersive method. With this method, with only 15 minutes a day, you can increase your intelligence, learn a lot of things, improve your skills, and even practice languages. In addition, there are thousands of great games, challenges, videos, and many more things that you really can't miss because you can access from any device. Oh, and not only that, because they also have a section in the app called Trivia, where you can answer questions related to the premieres of the day and show everything you know. So now you know, friends, don't waste any more time and download the FlexFlix app to have the future in your hands. And we'll say goodbye for today and see you in the next stream. Bye, love you.